Again, I'm using Cooler, and I've logged in already. So in my UX design class, they're making a touchscreen interface, and they have to do a color scheme. And the biggest, I think, challenge that most of the students are using too much of saturated colors, right? I get most of them are they give me something that looks like this. They get this blue that is really, really blue. So the word saturation refers to how much the color is. Or if we were doing number wise, zero. Oh, that's not zero. That's a zero. 0 to 255 is the range of an 8-bit color. Okay, so if you have a blue at 255, it would be 100% saturated. Saturated. Okay? So saturation refers to how much of the color you're using. Whereas if I'm using 128, and we haven't seen the scale yet, we're going to see the scale today. When you see this scale, will be like a medium blue. Okay? And then this will be no blue at all. So avoid making designs like right now. If I made a design with this purple and this blue, woo, I wouldn't be able to read the text on that. I'm sure of that. So using and choosing tints, which is sort of in the inside like this, is a much easier way to harmonize your colors. Very saturated colors are difficult. So once you choose your colors, say, wow, that is the best colors I ever chose. Okay, maybe we give a little bit. Oh no, I liked it this way a little better. There we go. You can save your color themes. You hit the save button here. See, save. And can I give it a name? Well, I guess I can add comments. My best colors ever. There we go. Add comment. Just now. So I think it's automatically saved. You can download. Oh, you can open it right in Illustrator, and it'll open up as a palette. You notice the extension is the ASE. ASE. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, didn't work, did it? I think you need to import it as a color in a swatch over here. Once it's on the computer. Okay, I'll get back to that. Let's get back to the. So you can save it. You can share. You can email it to somebody. Let's download again. Let's save it on the computer. That's what I should have done. So save it on the computer. Let's choose another one. Let's choose another one. Another way of making colors, like I said, is you can make the colors from a photograph. If you hit Create, under Create, there is a way to load from a photograph, if I can find that. Oh, here we go. Thank you. Create from image. Thank you. And we can choose our photo and hit Open. And you'll notice it chooses colors from there. Wouldn't that have been nice if we could have done it with our fruit? Remember our fruit? We were choosing colors with the eyedropper. So it randomly looks at all the colors and gives you the most colors, the colors that are used most in the image, is the way I understand it. So we can save that too. Muted, deep, dark, custom, colorful, bright, muted. Ooh, I like the bright one. Look at that. So let's we can save that too. Where's the save button? Save. There it is. And this is from photo. And we can download that. Save it on your computer. So again, Cooler is an interesting program to choose colors. There's other ones also that you can use. There's other color software you can use. There used to be one I used to use a lot called Color Scheme Designer. color scheme designer.com, and it doesn't, they don't have it anymore. Design, DESIG. It jumps to this new thing called Peloton.com. Peloton? Peloton? So, and then you can choose colors inside here. You can choose your triad, and it's very similar to using the cooler, and it gives you this. You have to have an account to share it, though. Some kind, I don't know if you have to pay or something. But what you could do is you could simply choose the colors you want using this program. I don't know why they have all purple in the middle here. I guess I have to change the hue here. There we go. So once you've gotten some colors that you like, of course you can simply easily just take a screen capture. Apple Shift 4 or Command Shift 4 gives you a little crosshair, and I can draw a box around that. Once you draw a box around it, it is located on your hard drive right here. See it? So you can take a screen capture. So even if they disabled the save, that you can't save it, I can save it as a screen capture, and then I can open it up and, oh, I just hit Premiere. I didn't want to do that. And I can open it up inside of Illustrator. So let's use Illustrator here for a moment. I can place it into Illustrator by using the File Place. Go to my desktop. There's my color palette right here. This is the one. Place it in there. There it is. Put it over here if I'm going to use it in my design. There it is. You got your eyedropper color, right? You can choose a color. Hey, let's suck that up. There it is. Or suck that up. Or suck that up. Or suck that up. Or you know what I mean? Sorry, this other application was loading here. Again, so that's one way you can get the colors in, even though you can't save out of that. What was it called? Peloton? I don't know. More info on Facebook versions. Share it. We are sorry this palette sharing is temporarily disabled. However, the page URL contains a UDI code of current palette. Please feel free to copy and paste it in to share it anywhere. I don't know. Oh, it gives you the CSS colors with the hexadecimal values. You see that? We'll be using that in a web design class. Look at that. Well, that'll help a lot. Did you see that? So I clicked on share it, and I got that. So that'll help a lot. So those seem like good tools to use. Again, it's Cooler and Peloton. Peloton? Ooh, randomize. Ooh, look at that. So that was the two websites that you can use. I'm sure there's more. Let's talk a little bit about using colors inside the application. So by default, it should have automatically loaded the ones that I made, but it hasn't. Oh, maybe we hit refresh. Hold on. Oh, there they are. Do you see this little button right there, refresh? So remember I made these in Cooler, my theme right here, and this one is the photo one, I think, right? Did you see that? Okay. So we can use those colors now as we are drawing our shapes. What nice colors they turned out too. Look at that. Now when we're looking at the color, you can see that it's given you a variety of different options. You see the CMYK as well as the different colors inside there. So let's talk about selecting colors and how colors are used. Again, let's go down to the bare bone minimum. Inside of Illustrator, if you double click on the color swatch, it gives you the color picker window right here. The color picker window is basically a 24-bit window. Okay, and what does that mean, 24-bit? Well, let's just talk RGB. I think on last class I wrote the HSB. I think I had an L on the screen, right? I should have had B on there for brightness. So you have hue, saturation, brightness, Then you have RGB, which is red, green, and blue. Then you have your hexadecimal value here, and then you have the CMYK. Okay, so these are all different ways of adjusting and making a color. Like I was talking about before, if you have 255 of one color, let's go and take blue at 255, and let's make green 0, oops, 0, and red 0. And what we would have is a totally saturated blue. That's the purest blue that could be inside of the application. Okay, that's what I meant when I was writing the scale on the board. Again, halfway down would be 128 is in the middle. That would be, now notice it's kind of dark. The reason why it's dark is because if you go all the way down to 0, it's going to be black. Okay, see if I go down to 0 here, it's black. Okay, if you take all of them and make them 255, 255, and 255, it's going to be white. So in the computer, and this is how all applications work, this is kind of what we call a 24-bit. And where's the 24-bit come from? Well, the 24-bit comes from 255 levels of red, 255 levels of green, well, actually 256 of red, green, and blue. The reason why I only have 255 inside the box is because it starts with 0. Okay, it goes from 0 to 255. So there is really 256 levels. It's just the 0 is the first one. Notice how the hexadecimal value is FFFFFFF. If you don't know what hexadecimal values are, they came from back in the early days, and you know me in history. I'm a history buff. History buff. Back in the early days of the internet, people had what we call RGB or VGA monitors. And what a VGA monitor can only display 256 colors. Literally. People used to have only 256 color monitors. So in order to put the colors onto the web page, we used to use what we call hexadecimal values. So if we go to Wikipedia, we can read about hexadecimal values. Oops, it's not. So if we look up hexadecimal colors, okay, sometimes referred to as web colors, are colors used in displaying web pages and the method for describing and specifying those colors. Colors may be specified as an RGB triplet or an hexadecimal format. They may also be specified according to their common English names in some cases, right? Like you can actually type in a word. Here we go. We can go back here and we can type in a word. My favorite is light, sky. Oh, I guess it's not going to let me type it in there. But in HTML, you can type in light sky blue and it will show up. I don't think it works here. No. But in HTML, you can type it in. How it came about is the first version of Mosaic, which was the first common browser, wanted to have a color palette that was compatible with both the Windows palette and the Mac palette. So let me even go further back. Let me pause the video here. There it is recording, and I'm not going to be here. Pause it. These are called hexadecimal values. They have a mixture of both numbers and letters. I don't know if you really want to go through how that works. You can see how the numbers look. I don't like using the 3-digit one. I like using the 6-digit one because I'm used to it. There's a whole bunch of reasons. The reason why they use letters and numbers is because you're limited by the amount of numbers that you can have in a combination. And what I mean by that is certain combinations, you can go from 0 to 9 and that's it. Once you get 9, you can't, 1, 0, you can't do 10. The programming can't do 10 because it sees it as a 1 and a 0, not a 10. So once you go from 0 to 9, you're stuck. So they started using letters to represent the ones above 9. Does that make sense? I don't know. You'd have to get into binary, and I'd have to explain binary to you, and I don't want to have to go through that right now. So you could read this and learn a little bit more about it. But you can see this is the hexadecimal values, and you can write words in the programming if you want. You can see them there. Oh, here's the WebSafe palette, like I said. Oh, here it is, 216 right there, see? Right there, 216. Yeah. Woo, look at that. So there's a lot to hexadecimal values. I use them a lot because I can write the hex value down and in Illustrator and then use it inside of Dreamweaver, right? I can use this color. Well, I'm inside of Illustrator. I'm here. I'm choosing a color. Oh, I love this color. Wouldn't that color be great inside of Dreamweaver from my background on my web page? Well, I can come over here, double click on my fill here. I can write this number down right there and then go and type it into Dreamweaver or my HTML and boom, that color will be there. Okay, so that's why I like using the hexadecimal values. You could write down the RGB values right here, but then, that's a little bit more work. Right? I can copy this right now, copy that right now. I can go right over to, I don't know, do we even have Dreamweaver on this damn computer? I don't know. Don't know. Somewhere. Wow, look at all these Adobe products. I'd love to teach you all of them. So here's my web page. I can go underneath my page properties. I can go to my background color. I can paste my hexadecimal value right in there, hit apply, and there it is. This is my favorite website. See? Same value that I used in Illustrator, hexadecimal value. Now it's on my web page. Okay, so get used to using them. Maybe try the Cooler. It's a lot of fun. Let's talk another way inside of Photoshop to get colors and save colors. Okay, you can save your swatches if you want. Remember how we were sucking up colors? You can save them and open them in other places and do things like that. Let me show you maybe how you can go from Photoshop to Illustrator palette-wise. Let's think about that. So you can say, oh, I did save some palettes, didn't I? I think I did. Remember we saved some stuff from oh, here it is though. Well, let's go to Photoshop. Let's see. Swatches. Okay, here's my swatches in Photoshop. I don't have Cooler. Is Cooler in here? There's got to be a way to get to Cooler in Photoshop. I don't know how to do it. But here we go. I'm going to go under File inside of Photoshop and say Load Swatches. Load Swatches. Do you remember I saved some swatches from that website, Cooler? Remember Cooler? I saved some swatches from Cooler. So I saved them probably in Downloads. And here they are. Remember that? Here it is. And remember, it was the ASE extension. Remember, I was pointing that out. ASE. I can hit open, and there they are right here. Here they are right here. See them? You can make a new one if you want. So they're right here inside of Photoshop. The colors from that color swatch. So you can save swatches from Illustrator and then open them in Photoshop and vice versa using the what was it? ASE? I think it was. So that's a good way of choosing colors. Another way in Photoshop is you can make the CLUT. Remember the color lookup table that I just talked about? I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So let's say I open up that fabulous photo that I took. I think it's on my desktop. Here it is. This beautiful photo. There she is. She doesn't realize that she's here. She lives in Gualala. Where Gualala is, like along the coast above, kind of by Fort Bragg, I think, something like that. So here she is. You want to use colors from this photo. Remember how we were doing it in Cooler, right? Well, you can do it here in Photoshop. Let me show you that. You were going to use something called the GIF option. So if you ever saved a GIF format, a GIF is a GIF, right? It's a GIF. GIF is an old internet file format owned by CompuServe. Well, GIF can only be 256 colors or less. A GIF can only be 256 colors or less. So if I save this as a GIF, it's going to make a color palette. Watch what happens. So if I go underneath File, Save for Web, and Photoshop, you'll notice it says GIF up here in the upper corner right here. A GIF has 256 colors or less. I can actually make less if I want. I can go to 128. Notice it makes a little palette down here. Do you see it? This is the color lookup table. All the colors in my photo now, all the colors in my photo match a color in the table. So this table matches this one matches this one. So that's where the 256 looks a little bit more. Now when we look at the photo, do you remember when the internet used to look like that? Who remembers the internet used to look like that? Some of us? Okay. This is referred to as dithering. What dithering is where the program takes, now, you have this beautiful color here, but it's not in the palette. So what the computer program does is it does what's called diffusion or dithering. What dithering does is it starts blending the colors in the palette on the screen so that it looks a little smoother. If you turn the diffusion off, see what happens? You'll get banding. Banding. This is referred to as banding. This is referred to as dithering. You should know these terms if you're going to be in design. Okay, these are important terms. Diffusion, dithering, banding. Diffusion. Here's the dithering right here. You can turn it down if you want. See how it changes. Okay. And then there's the web snap. What the purpose of the web snap was is so that it would make the palette conform to the web safe palette. Remember my 256 or 216 colors web safe palette? If we turn the web snap all the way up, it's going to make it conform to that 216 colors. Watch. And the reason why she looks all polarized now, these are web safe colors right now. Okay, so these are the only colors that were in there that are web safe, or what they refer to as web safe. Turn it down. Now it makes palettes in different ways. You got your bicubic, your bilinear, your nearest neighbor, your bismoother, I don't have a lot to say there. You can, if in the upper right corner here, once you've made your palette, see how it took the colors here and it made a palette? You can come up here in the upper right corner right here, in the upper right corner, and you can save that palette. Save the color table. And notice it has a different extension though than the swatches. So this is photo table, and I see color lookup table. See it right there? Color lookup. Oh, look, there's a web palette, Windows palette, Mac palette, gray palette. It's in Photoshop. Let's put it on the desktop for right now. Now, I don't know how to load this into, let me hit cancel here. There is a way to load that into Illustrator, and I just have to remember. It's not bringing it into swatches. I don't think I can open it up in the swatch library. Let me try. What did I call it? Photo table? That was it? Will it work? No. See, it doesn't work that way. How did I get it in? I did get it in somehow before, and I don't remember. Maybe it's under color. There is a way to bring that in somehow. I know there is. I can't remember it right now. So let's go back to this window again. Let's talk about a couple more things in the color picker window. The color picker window. In the color picker window, we talked a little bit about RGB. Remember the values. 128 is halfway between 128 and 128 is going to give you medium gray. That is medium gray. Again, 0, 0, 0 will be black. 255, 255, 255 will be white. Sometimes when you are choosing a color, you'll get this little explanation point that comes out. It says out of gamut warning. Click to correct. What is gamut? Well, it depends on the color range that your program can manipulate here. And if you click on it, I don't know how to explain gamut. It's kind of like the color you've chosen is out of the range. of what? I don't know what the range is. It could be the monitor. It could be the range of the document. I don't have an answer to gamut. Again, H stands for hue, and that's where you get this little guy that goes up and down. See it? Then you have saturation, which is the purity as it goes down, and then beta for brightness. Of course, CMYK is the way that we measure things that are printed. The reason why it's in percentages here is because whenever you're getting something printed, you can have a certain range of the color. So 60% of magenta, 100% of magenta would be 100% kind of magenta there. So it's a way of letting the program, think about it. In a printing press, you have 4 colors. You have your red, or you have your cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And you can make virtually any color from those combinations. So when the printer is printing out a color, if it needs to mix, 50% yellow and 100% magenta to make that color, it can do that because it has the colors inside the printer. Doesn't make any sense. I don't know. It really doesn't do it that way. But that's sort of what the theory is behind it. Gray. In addition, you can choose colors different ways inside of Illustrator. You have the color pop-up window. You have the swatches window, as well as you have your CMYK colors here, or what we call Pantone colors. What are the Pantone colors? Well, Pantone colors refer to color swatches that would refer to the certain ink that could be put onto the printing press. So they had these things called Pantone colors that allowed you to, the Pantone color related to the type of ink that was being sold. If that makes any sense. And we can load them in. I don't know where the Pantone colors are. Let's see. Grays, bright. Process spot color. What is a spot color? Spot color is the same idea, where that you can use a certain ink in a certain area. That you could load. What's this? Those are my palettes. This is Swatch Library. I don't know. Do they even still have Pantone colors in here? Color guide. That's just a palette. I don't know where they have them now. They used to have the Pantone library in here. Where is it at? Swatch? Open Swatch? Color books. Oh, here we go. There's the Pantone colors. Thank you. So again, this you could buy a certain color that related to a Pantone color. And there they all are. So that you can refer to your printer and say, okay, this is the color I want to use for my logo. And we used to have a whole Pantone color swatch guide here, and I don't know what happened to it. You can use a whole bunch of them. Let me stop this video.